Welcome. I hope you're getting tuned in this morning. We are just waiting for Ryan to tune us in on WBNL. We're so blessed to be able to come to you live 3 different ways. One is from WBNL, your hometown radio station. They're in Booneville, Indiana. The second is we are streaming live on radio1540.net. You can catch us on AM and FM, like I said, or the streaming station, or live on the Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated page. Bear with me today because I'm out here with some beautiful flowers, and I've got to plant and see God's beauty this week. And there's also some wonderful bees God created buzzing around me, so this might be an interesting program today. It is June the 5th. I believe it's June the 5th. Yes, June the 5th. Or 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. It's June the 6th. I'm sorry. June the 6th. I've lost track of days. June the 6th, 2021. And we start our program at exactly 8 o'clock. So I'm glad you guys are with me today. And please tune in and let me know that you're on the air with me. We have updated the cameras. We got the big cameras out. So that is wonderful. I'm not stuck in the office now, and it's getting pretty outside, and it's right before the heat kind of comes in. So Ryan will be queuing us in shortly. I'm just kind of watching the devices. And we had a great program yesterday on Sherry's Saturday Voice with Faces of HNC. We came to you from a car yesterday because it was about curves in life. So, and the curves that life throws you. So we decided we would do it with the camera at the car. So we have one person joining us this morning. I hope we got some others tuned in. We've got a lot of things to tell you this morning. I kind of, like Dad, I overslept a little bit. So I called Ryan and I said, have me a couple songs ready, because this is going to be a Bill Carlisle off the cuff. We're still putting up a lot of our programming on our new YouTube channel, which is called the Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated Radio, WBNL program, and you can find us on YouTube. That's the Bread of Life Ministry Radio program, WBNL. We picked up 25 followers this week, and we're so happy for that. And we're logging a lot in the morning, trying to log a couple of the ones Dad had on previously in the tours of the radio station. He's been on for 51 years, and we're getting the new ones on too, so that you can see them there. And to Paul Warren, if you're watching or listening, or anybody's listening this morning, tell him that I'm watching a set of kittens, about 3, come out from under my deck. So if he needs some cats for the barn, just let me know. I'll haul them back up there to you. We want to thank you guys. Like I said, let me know if you're watching. If you've got any comments, please let me know, and share this with 5 of your friends, because if it's not for you, it's for someone else. It's kind of a cool, misty morning. It looks like rain, but I think we're going to be clear today. Sitting under the porch with a nice tin roof. So you're going to hear some dewdrops and some raindrops from maybe the night before that will be dingling on the tin roof, and there's nothing better, if you know, in the country from being under a tin roof when it rains. We were blessed last weekend to be up in Indiana and visit and go to the wonderful Museum of Coal History there with AJ Mason and all the gang, and they have done a wonderful job there, and it's very historical. They have my grandfather's, a lot of his things of when he was in the coal mines. They've got a lot of the records. If you've not been out there, it's free, and it's very educational. Schools, tours. AJ would love to have you. Please let them know. We're going to be on in 20 seconds. So get tuned in and share this with your friends. Ryan's just let me know we got 20 seconds. So we're on the air. Welcome everybody to WBNL Radio, AM and FM, and streaming radio1540.net to the Bread of Life Ministry Radio, Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated Radio, WBNL. and we're streaming live on radio1540.net. There is a nice free app that you can get this streaming. It's called radio.net, and you can put it on your device and tune right into WBNL. You can also watch us live on Facebook, like you are now. We've got the cameras all updated, so we're ready to go this morning. The Bread of Life Ministry program has been on the air for 51 years. In October, I believe, according to Ralph and I's calculations, it's been 52 years. So it started a little bit before the Bread of Life Ministry incorporated Food and Clothing Bank in 1973. And as a child growing up at the radio station, it means the world to me to continue this program. And like I said, please join us and please like and follow our YouTube channel, where we're documenting some of the older programs as well as the newer ones. Today we've got a lot of things to tell you. As I said, I finally got my day right. It is Sunday, June the 6th, and I'd like to say a belated happy birthday to my mother-in-law, Jane Smith, this morning. Yesterday was her birthday, and the days kind of got away from me, and I love you, and I hope you had a happy birthday, and to my sister-in-law, Zoe, happy birthday. We would like to dedicate this program in memory of a dear friend and a lifelong supporter, board member of the Bread of Life, Sharon Floyd. And our prayers go out to her family today as we lost Sharon this week, who put up a wonderful fight. And she was born in November of 1941 and passed away this month, just a few days ago. And so I think they're having a service for her this week. You can find the obituary and the arrangements there on the Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated Food and Clothing Bank Facebook page. We also have some other prayer requests. I talked to Sue this week. Roberts, please keep her in your prayers as she was in the hospital this week. My friend here in Tennessee, a big supporter of the Bread of Life, and her dear friend Bob. My friend Jim, I'd like you to remember Andre, a friend of mine. Our friend Deb, our photographer, videographer for the Bread of Life Ministry, who is on the road traveling right now. Pray for her safety. Another Sue, and there are several unspoken prayers this morning that have been brought to us from families that we'd really like for you to keep them in mind. I got to meet a wonderful person this weekend, Dino, there at works at Miller Piano Specialist as a teacher. He traveled with Alabama and the Mandrells. Wonderful Christian man. He said, you know, God doesn't put us in a place for not a reason and not a work, and we don't meet people by accident. And I met some wonderful people this week. Joe, I'd like to say thank you to you and your lovely wife in allowing me to be a part of your world and talk to you about things that you needed to talk about, me too. So thank you so much for that. As I told you earlier, as we were doing the program, we've got some lovely flowers. God's blessed us with some flowers that came back in droves from last year. So as you'll see, I've got some pretty flowers around me today. I also see some beautiful bees flying around me. So we might be doing some shouting here in a minute if one gets me. The Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated, just to give you a little update on them, we are working on our driveway project still. Things are going very good. Being up there this weekend, there's a lot of activity. Love to see Ron Droll, and he was bringing in product this week. And we want to thank the people that did some donations this week on clothing for children. Thank you so much, and Lori running out and picking them up, and Debbie for everything she's doing there, and Jim and the whole gang pulling together. And like I said, it is in memory of Sharon Floyd this morning. I was reading the scripture this morning, and after doing Deb's Saturday show, Sherry's Saturday Voice at 8:45, we were in the little Mitsubishi with the top down. Used to be my daughter's car, and her script was on life throwing you curveballs and knowing how to take the curves. And her scripts are so great. If you missed that, go to Faces of Agency and please check it out. And in doing that, I was reading my book, Jesus Calling, this morning. And it says that we live in a fallen world, an abnormal world tainted by sin. Much frustration and failure results from seeking perfection in life. And I know a lot of people, we discussed this week too, in just the people I talked with, that perfection was a big thing, and that people strive for perfection. I talked to a lady that was a studio backup singer, and that was the one thing that always scared me to death in the music business, was the perfection of being in a studio. I was more a stage performer. As Dad, you never knew what was coming out of his mouth, and I always knew that I could get around something. If I didn't know what was coming, I could make it work. It was more off the cuff. So people do strive for perfection, and I do in some ways, and in some ways I kind of go with the flow like Dad did. But when we strive for perfection, there's nothing perfect in the world except God. And I had a wonderful discussion with Ross Miller this week, who opened my eyes when I was worried about friends and family members that really weren't churchgoers. They didn't really believe, and I didn't think they believed. And he said, believing in that higher power, something bigger than yourself, and you didn't happen by accident. He said, they don't not believe. They do believe. It's just guiding them in the path of believing that Jesus is the higher power. Closeness to Jesus satisfies the deep yearning, and it fills us with joy. It says, I have planted longing for perfection in every human heart. We long for perfection, and this is a good desire, which Jesus alone can fill. But most people seek this fulfillment in other people and earthly pleasures or achievements. I remember Dad saying that he sat at his table when he worked for JCPenney, when he had been almost called into the ministry, and he was kind of doing part-time ministry, and he was working full-time because his goals in life were to be the head salesperson for JCPenney, the head orderer for the shoe department, and he was doing all that, and he worked for Mr. Penny. And I remember him saying that he was sitting there late at night doing book work on a Saturday night in a trailer we lived at in Folsomville, and he said the scripture came to him, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So that opened Dad's eyes into striving to perfection of a job and earthly things was not as important as the treasures that were going to be laid up for him if he set his sights and his goals in God first. And that's when he started the ministry of preaching, and then it was laid on his heart to start the Bread of Life Ministries. So we can sometimes create idols, and people think of idols as golden statues, and that's not. My mom used to say, oh, that's an idol, it's a golden statue. Idols can be anything. Idols can be a workaholic, which my children say a lot of times I am. Idols can be indulgence in food. Items can be indulgence in alcohol. Anything in excess can be an idol, something that you look toward. Not necessarily something you always bow down to. It says, I will have no other gods before me. Make me the deepest desire of your heart, and let me fulfill your yearning for perfection. So he's there to do that for us. Exodus 30 or 23 talks about this in deep detail. Psalms 37:4, which I love. Psalms, you know, I've told you this before. It says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." It may not be the desires that you have planned out, but it is something that God knows that you can do and work in and be good at, and something that you can strive for His perfection in what you need to do. Sharon was one of those people. When you walked in the Bread of Life, and I called her Little Sharon, was sitting there because she was a tiny little thing. She sat there, and the smile on her face, the friendship and kindred she had with everyone that walked in the door. I know her and Deborah Sheridan were great friends, and she always asked about the family, and she was always there for our outings and events to sit at the table and work. She volunteered. She never missed a day until she started getting sick, and Sharon strived for perfection through God. And as I posted her obituary on the Bread of Life, I said how we will miss her, and tears will never stay in the streets of God's city. So you may cry here on earth, but we're going to rejoice with Sharon again. We'd also like to remember the family of Andy Condon, Mary Lou, our dear neighbors. He was hit on a bicycle this last week out here by our house, and we went to his memorial and service this week. And a wonderful, wonderful man, and a beautiful service, and I know he's going to be dearly missed. And sometimes, you know, we expect people to die, and I think we're a little more prepared. I don't know if we're totally prepared, but when an accident, freakish, happens, we're not. And when that happens, we ask the reason why, and we're in shock. But those people are rejoicing in heaven today, and I know that we will see them again. So read Psalms 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. We have to put Him first in everything we do. Gordon Stoker and I used to love to talk about planting flowers and trading flowers with each other. And I know he's planting flowers in heaven this morning. And I know that that was one of the things, that the nature and the beauty, when he looked to God, that was one of the passions that God allowed him to enjoy, was his flowers. So we need to do that each day, and wake up, and I love what Ross said to me this week. He said, you know, the good thing is, God doesn't wake up and say, I'm going to be Sherry today. God doesn't wake up and say, I'm going to be Joe today. God wakes up and says, I'm here for everyone today, and look unto me for your salvation in fear and trembling. I thought that was a wonderful thing. We need to be thankful that God is there for all of us and hears everyone. And he has what I call the party line. He doesn't have a single line. He's got a party line that he can talk to anyone, anytime. Under the trees, in the woods, next to the bumblebees, he's there for us. And as Deb said, life throws us curves, but we don't live in a life of perfection. We have to look to God to strive for perfection through him. The Bread of Life Ministries, a food and clothing bank, has been going since 1973 as a a food bank and a pantry. We do double duty, and they work 7 days a week. They're in Linville, Indiana. If you're an agency and you need help, you can call 812-922-5424. If you're an individual seeking help, you can call 812-922-5339. If you feel the need and God is laying on your heart to support our ministry, you can do that by calling 812-922-5424. You can also write us a card or a letter and show your support by writing to Bread of Life Ministry, P.O. Box 12, Linville, Indiana, 47619. You can find us on our website. We're getting ready to do some construction on it. It is breadoflifeministryinc.org. We're on all forms of social media now, including YouTube, and we're getting ready to shoot a couple new videos. Twitter, you can also find us on Facebook, of course, Instagram. So please check these out, and thank you for the 25 people that just joined our new YouTube channel, the Bread of Life Ministry radio program, WBNL. And this has been sponsored by Town Square Furnishing there in Boonville for your tri-state needs for all your furnishing and accessories. We thank you so much. We do have a big event coming up September 28th, or September 18th of September. We're so excited at the Boonville Country Club. I believe it's our 6th annual or 7th annual golf scramble. And we've got some special surprises, so keep the 18th open and also keep the 19th open because we have got some things in the works for that we'll be letting you know. That we may have a whole weekend full of Bread of Life stuff going on for you. We'll be letting you know further on that. And as I said earlier, if you get a chance, please go by, if you're in Linville, after you stop by and maybe requested a tour for the Bread of Life, or you'd like a virtual tour sent, you can always email us at bol1973@aol.com, or me, Sherry cs@millerps.com, and we'll send you that virtual tour. We're doing a new one. That one was about 3 or 4 years old, so we are getting ready to update that with Deborah Sheridan and share it in the raw photography. But if you're in Linville, please stop by and see one of the best kept secrets, the Museum of Coal Industry out there right off downtown Linville. And AJ would love to take you a tour. It's free, and there's so much history out there and so many items that will bring back memories to you, your families, the memorials he's built for those that lost their life in the mine and those that died mining. It's a wonderful, uplifting place to go visit. We appreciate your time with us on Sunday mornings at 8, and we're looking forward to doing some on-site things. We will be up there next weekend, so we're looking forward to seeing you in studio, Ryan. We'd like to thank you and Ralph for everything you do to make this program happen. And please share this and send us your prayer request, because uplifting each other and banding together is the way God works through us to make us stronger. And as Deb said, the curves life throws you. You have to know how to take those curves. And life happens. And we have to learn to go with those curves and have God be the driver and to help us in our pathway that we have here. Because this is a short time that we have here. It's a short journey in a short time for something that's bigger and better, and it's going to be eternal, where no tears will stain the streets of that city. We want to thank you so much. I'm sorry, the bees stayed away, but the tears didn't. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to ask Ryan right now if he's got a song prepared. Actually, Dad's thing off the cuff works even faster than I thought. I talk more without a script than I did with a script. So sometimes God has a way of working things out. And I'm going to see if Ryan's got a song for us prepared, and if he does, we're going to go ahead and close with that and let you know this will be saved on our timeline. It will also be put on our new YouTube channel, the Bread of Life Ministry Radio, WBNL, on YouTube. So Ryan, whenever you're ready, if you will give me a shout out, we will get a song played, and we will end this portion on June 6th of 2021. So as soon as Brian gives me the okay, we're going to be out of here, and it is a beautiful day. You can hear I have a little more traffic on my country road now than I used to. But we want to thank you again for all the support and the love, and please keep these families in your prayers this morning and these prayer requests that have been so greatly needed this week. So Ryan, anytime you're ready, I am ready, and we will get a song prepared for you and have it to go out. And we're going to let you know that you can catch us next week on Saturday at 8:45 for Faces of HNC, Sherry Saturday Voice. And you can also catch us live on Faces of HNC Facebook page. And then on Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock, we will come to you from wherever for the WBNL radio program, Bread of Life Ministry. We're going to turn it over to Ryan now for a song to take you out. Thank you for joining us. Please share this with your friends and loved ones, and please help us, help others. It's been for the people, by the people, with your support, and we could not have been going almost 50 years, 5 decades, without your support and help. We thank you so much from all the family and the friends at the Bread of Life Ministry Incorporated. Ryan, back to you and WBNL.